Do you have a goal that you haven't hit? It's okay. It's okay. We all do. It's important to have that goal. It's important to keep that goal. It's also important to try again. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about what it takes to get there. We're going to talk about devotion of the fittest. Jason Reynolds is our guest next on Purpose Under Pressure. Well, welcome back. My name's Brian, and this is Purpose Under Pressure. It's a podcast about developing sales and leadership success on purpose and under pressure. It's brought to you by the professional sales and leadership training team at Sandler by the Ruby Group. You'll find them in Akron and in Columbus, Ohio. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. They're in Capital Region, New York. They do their work on purpose so that you and your team can represent that way. That means your sellers. That means your managers. That means your leaders. That means choosing the right customers to work with. It all goes together. It's all a puzzle. It's a puzzle and it's a game that you can win. If that rings true with you and your organization, reach out to our sponsors here, the Ruby Group at therubygroup.sandler.com. The Ruby Group, master the pressure, lead with purpose, and deliver results. So let's get cooking. What do you want? What do you want in life? What do you want to accomplish? You know what I want? I want abs. I want abs, like the super fit dudes that walk down the beach. I've always wanted abs. I've got all kinds stored here above the belt. It's plenty of layers of everything but abs. I've wanted them since I was a kid. Never seen them. Not even a glimpse. I'm in relatively good shape. I'm in relatively good health. I lead a relatively healthy lifestyle. But even today, I was talking to our guest here just before the show. Even today, I slept in. I didn't work out. I had a bagel with cream cheese, shoved that in my face as I was getting ready to record. That's not healthy. It's certainly not heading towards abs. So what do you want? That's what I want to talk about because it all has to do with activity. It all has to do with hitting our goals. We're halfway through the year. If you're not there, what have you missed? Let's talk about that. Jason Reynolds, his partner and trainer at Sandler by the Ruby Group. He knows a lot about discipline. He knows a lot about fitness. And I want to talk to him today about sales and how that all ties together. Jason, welcome to Purpose Under Pressure.
Brian, good morning.
Jason, do you know where my abs are? Have you seen my abs? I can't find them anywhere.
Brian, I haven't. I hope I don't have to either.
I know, but I'm trying to understand and put an analogy together where if we don't do the things that we need to do, those opportunities are passed. And that has to do with sales and with hitting our goals and everything too, doesn't it? Talk to me a little bit about how we can be more disciplined and devoted to what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, well, let's talk about your abs for a second. I think first we have to sit back and realize what you're wanting, everybody's after a little bit too, meaning that we all have that need to want something bigger than that we've always been trying to go for. Cause I've been wanting the same thing. I kind of stepped back from that and said, I want to have abs again, but by the time I'm 40, by the time I'm 45, and I missed it both times. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people it didn't happen. So I got to give up. If I didn't get it by a certain age or a certain time frame, or I'm set a goal and I did it again and I missed it, they give up on it instead of maybe giving themselves a little bit of grace and resetting. Because it doesn't matter how many times we have to reset that goal. As long as we're resetting and we're trying to go after it, that's what's crucial about goal setting, about trying to accomplish things, is we just don't give up. We keep going with it. And then we just got to adjust every so often and go, what do I got to do to get a little bit better with it? What do I got to make? How do I become a little bit maybe more devoted, more disciplined to achieve that goal?
And how does that work? Do we have to have the goal in the first place, right? And most people don't have them. We have to have the goal, and then we have to figure out what to do. Then we have to do it. We have to do all those things before we can give ourselves permission to try again. Isn't that right?
Yeah, and some people, I'll see some people have goals, but they're not to the point of this. They're not devoted to the goals, meaning they put some things out there, some nice to haves, but they're really their burning desire to be devoted towards that isn't high enough. And I had to change some things up a few years ago where we do this goal setting series every December, and mid-year, I reset some things going, hey, maybe we need to check in. How's everybody doing with their goals? And maybe we need a different lens to look out of goals through. Instead of maybe we do this synergistic goal setting where we got 7 or 8 different categories that people look at goals through. Mm-hmm. I said, maybe they need a different lens. So creatively, my own little creative brain, I'm like, because I went through that I guess I went through it too, going after so long of doing goal setting the same way, you kind of go, I'm doing the same thing again. Here's
Yep.
the
I'm going to
7 or
set
8
my goals. I'm going
categories.
to miss my goals. I'll set them again next year and I'll miss them again next year. And away
Yeah.
we go.
And we kind of have them stack rank. Is faith the biggest thing this year? Is finances the biggest thing? And we have them stack rank those things. And I went through that for 3 or 4 years, and eventually I went, man, like I'm still struggling hitting all the goals. And I'd have 10 or 20 or 30 goals sitting out there, and maybe I'd get to one or two, but I didn't get to the other ones, and it frustrated me. It's a never ending thing with some of the goals and some of the things we actually are trying to get after, and the things we're trying to do. There isn't a mountaintop. You're always climbing. You're always setting a new mountain. Even if you hit it, there's something better we can be doing. But I had to look at it differently. So I all of a sudden, instead of having those 7 or 8 categories, I told myself, well, how about I just say this? How fit can I become with my faith, my fitness, my family, my finances, and my fun? And that turned into how fit can I become with my 5 F's? And that mantra then kind of launched us giving people a different lens to look out of goal setting from. So instead of 7 or 8 weird categories, now these 5 F's, people are like, that kind of resonates. Now I can look at my fitness and go, how fit can I become with my fitness? Here's where I'm at now. Where do I want to take it to? Maybe it is we want to get abs, Brian. Maybe
Okay.
it is we just want to improve our VO2 max, or we want to get more muscle, or we want to lean out a little bit. But we are where we're at right now, and we're going to take steps in the behavioral way to get a little bit better each and every day.
What were those 5 again?
Our faith, our fitness,
Yep.
our family, our finances, and our fun.
And when you do it that way, there's only 5. And so you kind of don't have to rank them, right? Because the problem I've always had with ranking is something's always ranked last. And why would I ever focus on anything last, even though it's important? I can I can have 5 things that matter equally to me. I don't have to put faith over fitness or over family.
Yep.
They can equal out. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Like
That's part of it.
I mean, I kind of stacked ranked them with my priority with faith, family, or faith, fitness, family, finances, and fun. But I don't think they're just kind of labeled that way, because at times, like, well, finances, that work, how much money you're making, your net income, your all that stuff probably helps drive some of the other ones. And at times your faith will drive all of them. And at times you gotta step back and have some fun and enjoy life and do some of the things you want to do, or you might get burnt out in the financial department, or you might get burnt out with your family and all the different rat races you have to go through to build and grow and keep your family going. So it's really there to help balance all of them out all the time.
And so what do you do, Jason? Are you coming up with one specific goal for each of them, or do you have multiple goals within each category?
I found best over the last like 5 or 6 years that I've done this to have a few in each
A
category
few. Mm-hmm.
that I'm looking at and going, this is my priority in these categories, right? For faith, it might be how much time am I spending in love and hope and helping people and doing stuff for myself, working on my own mindset and faith and belief in myself. With fitness, it might have to do with, hey, I want a certain body fat percentage, or I want to be able to do X things. I want to be able to golf better. Whatever those things are, there's 2 or 3 each year that I'm kind of focused on, and I try to stay focused on those things to improve those as the year goes on.
So you've got specific milestones for each one, but it still comes down to, I want abs. I can't just say I want him. I've got to do something about it. And I can't just keep kicking it down the road, because sooner or later, I'm not going to be physically able to get him. And I'm going to look back at a life wasted, right? What do we have to do then on a daily basis? How does this actually happen?
Well, we'll take that one as an example, right? We got to make sure we have the right mindset towards it. Are we applying the right mindset towards what we're trying to do? A lot of people, when they go to abs, go, I just got to work out more. And if I work out more, I can outwork a bad diet. They think it can be done in 2 to 4 weeks, and it's really going to take 16, 20 weeks or longer to get down to that goal. So we got to be realistic in our goal setting too.
Yeah, we've got to figure out what we actually can accomplish, the real steps that it takes. We can't just sit down and say, I'm going to do this. We also have to be realistic to know that we can do these things. If I do one sit up today and didn't do one yesterday, I've exponentially increased my ability, or how close I am to it. I'm interested though, then as well, you talked about the milestones. how do you set those milestones, and what's the best way to keep track? We talked at the beginning of the show about checking in halfway through the year. Now, if you're in sales, you're looking at where am I at? How do I set those milestones? How do I best make a difference in those milestones, realize what has to happen, and how do I change my way of acting tomorrow so that I can get myself back on track?
Yeah, that's great. So when we talked about it on this podcast before, but the idea of like behavior tracking and what we call those cookbooks. So those are our own business intelligence about our own behaviors that are going on that we gotta. That's our data. So if we aren't tracking it and writing it down and understanding, it's really hard to make adjustments because what we do in our heads, like, well, I'll just start doing this again tomorrow and we'll see how this goes. And then we have no data to go on. So whether you're trying to get abs or you're trying to improve sales or drive revenue in your company, we've got to have actual behavior data that we can go back and reflect back on and go, okay, how's the last 3 or 6 months working out? Do I need to do more of something that's actually working? Do I need to get better in certain areas, or do I need to change things up? Maybe my mindset, maybe my behavior, maybe my attitude, or maybe there's some techniques that I got to get better at. And we got to be able to reflect back on that and go, okay, now it's time. And how devoted and disciplined am I to making a change?
And I think that tracks right back to when you talk about what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? I think we need someone to talk to about it. If we just worry about ourselves and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Well, how am I going to do it any different? I would have done that yesterday. If I'm okay on my own to do it, I would have done it yesterday. Tell me a little bit about the value of mentors, trusted people you can confide in along the way, and maybe even reaching out to a professional group like yours or just anyone to help people along the way.
Well, we love, as people, we're conditioned because to keep ourselves comfortable. So we'll tell ourselves all kinds of things that aren't necessarily the truth, but we've wrapped things around them in our subconscious that make them feel like they're the truth for us. And having communities of people, whether it's coaches or motivators or trainers that help you through that, help you be able to see sometimes your, I guess, blind spots in that truth. So being able to come to an organization like us that we look at sales is a conceptual problem, right? It isn't necessarily always a technique problem. Sometimes everybody knows what to say and what to do sometimes, but they don't know why they're doing it. We help them find the reasons conceptually of why they're not doing some of the things they know they need to do and get out of their comfort zones. So we kind of act like that coach in the morning that wants to drive you, or the community behind you that can create an environment where you can change and keep growing.
Last question, Jason. When you work with salespeople, when you work with leaders, what's the number one barrier you see that gets in the way of the day-to-day devotion to the activities that need to happen to hit the goal that they're trying to reach?
Our own heads are what get in the way of it. And we all have a hard time stepping back from that and going, what do you mean? I'm a mental case, or I got this? No. It's that our own belief systems and our own behaviors get so hardwired sometimes that we can't see through the truth sometimes. And we need some people to push us to see it. I need it. You need it. Like, we've recognized, that's why I can get vulnerable now and tell people, like, I'm messing up, because we're all messing up. We need somebody to knock us every way, adjust our face mask and go, it's okay. You're allowed to mess up. This is life. And I'm going to help you get through it.
That brings us full circle to what you said at the very beginning, is that we have permission to reset our goals every single day. We have permission to start over. We have permission to do it today, even if I didn't do it tomorrow, just because I didn't get it done. Get out of my head. Right. Let's do it tomorrow. It's going to be okay. Jason, thank you so much for being on our show. I could talk about this kind of stuff forever because it's one of the hardest things for me. And I love talking to you about fitness. I see what it's done for you. I see what it's done for your organization and for the people that work with you. If someone wanted to talk to you about any of this, or anybody at Sandler, talk about these kind of things, how do they find you?
We're all over LinkedIn right now, on YouTube. My email is jason.reynolds@sandler.com. So any of those places you can go to.
That's Jason Reynolds, partner and trainer with Sandler by the Ruby Group. He's our guest today on Purpose Under Pressure. Folks, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We do this every week on purpose with discipline. We never miss. You don't have to miss an episode either. Go ahead and subscribe. Maybe tell a friend so they can be on purpose too. You'll find all past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure at brianmediastrategies.com/podcast and wherever you stream your favorite shows. It's brought to you by the Ruby Group, coaching leaders to win when the stakes are high. Until next time, no matter how high the pressure gets, do those sit-ups. Stay on purpose.